My wife and I had been planning a dinner with some family friends. As a 35-year-old man married to a 37-year-old woman from Turkey, I knew that dinners in her culture often stretched on for hours, filled with lively conversation and laughter. This time, however, I wanted to ensure we enjoyed our evening without it dragging on interminably. When I asked my wife who would be joining us, she listed three couples: the Joneses, the Davidsons, and the Matthiases. While I got along well with the Joneses and the Davidsons, the mention of the Matthiases gave me pause. Kelly Matties in particular was the slowest eater I had ever met. Our first outing with the Matthiases was at a popular pasta chain restaurant. As we sat down, Kelly started slowly picking at her salad, eating each component one at a time. When the main course arrived, she hadn't finished her salad. While everyone else ate their meals at a normal pace, Kelly was barely a quarter of the way through hers by the time we finished. The rest of us had our plates cleared away, while hers remained nearly untouched. When the check arrived, a server asked if they could box up her food, to which she responded, "I'm still eating." 30 minutes later, she declared herself full, leaving half her meal uneaten. Even at dinner parties, Kelly's slow eating was painful to watch as she nibbled on kebabs, barely making a dent in her plate while engaging in the conversation. I told my wife that I didn't want to invite the Matthiases this time. She understood my frustration but explained that in Turkish culture, meals are social events where people take their time. However, I remained firm, not wanting our dinner to be extended unnecessarily. My wife was a bit upset as she cherished Kelly's friendship. I asked if Kelly had a medical or social condition that made her eat slowly, but my wife assured me that wasn't the case. I decided to stand my ground, and we proceeded with the dinner plans without the Matthiases. The dinner went smoothly, and everyone ate at a normal pace. It was a pleasant evening with no complaints. However, I couldn't help but feel a little guilty for excluding Kelly, even though her eating habits were a significant annoyance for me. Despite my efforts to avoid inviting Kelly, my wife planned another dinner and included her. This time, she left it to me to choose the venue. I picked an all-you-can-eat Korean BBQ place with a 2-hour time limit, thinking it would encourage Kelly to eat at a normal pace. We arrived at the restaurant at 7:45 p.m., and the staff informed us of the time limit. I hoped this would prompt Kelly to eat faster. As the evening progressed, the rest of us enjoyed multiple servings, cooking our food and chatting happily. However, at the 2-hour mark, Kelly still had her first and second servings on her plate. When the staff shut off our burners and brought the check, Kelly protested, saying she was still eating. The waiters explained the time limit, and Kelly was visibly upset, but had no choice but to leave. Outside, the group discussed getting coffee. Kelly, still hungry, asked if we could go somewhere with food. Her husband, Bob, was exasperated and questioned how she hadn't eaten enough in 2 hours. The rest of us, including my wife, were also puzzled. Despite our reservations, we agreed to find another place for Kelly to eat. Bob and I decided to call it a night. He had work the next day, and I wanted to catch the last few night races. My wife and the other ladies went to a Middle Eastern lounge where they ordered coffee and dessert, while Kelly ordered a full meal. At 12:30 a.m., the ladies were ready to leave, but Kelly hadn't finished her food. Frustrated and concerned, they questioned her eating habits, which overwhelmed Kelly, causing her to step outside to calm down. My wife followed Kelly, trying to defuse the situation, but Kelly was defensive. she felt attacked and misunderstood. Despite my wife's reassurances, Kelly remained upset and called her husband, venting her frustration. My wife eventually took Kelly home, but the evening had left a mark on their friendship. The next day, my wife recounted the events to me, and I realized the damage that had been done. Kelly's slow eating had always been a quirk we tolerated, but now it had become a point of contention that threatened friendships. I felt a mix of guilt and frustration, wondering if I had handled things differently. The evening could have gone smoother. In the following days, my wife tried to mend her relationship with Kelly. They had a heartfelt conversation where Kelly admitted she felt self-conscious about her eating habits and how they were now being scrutinized. My wife assured her that their friendship was more important than any dinner mishap, and that she would always support her. I too reached out to Bob, expressing my regret for how things had turned out. He appreciated the gesture and confessed that Kelly's eating habits had been a point of contention, even within their relationship. He thanked me for being honest and understanding, and we agreed to move past it. As time passed, our group of friends continued to meet for dinners and gatherings. We became more accommodating of Kelly's pace, choosing venues where time limits weren't a concern, and ensuring that everyone felt comfortable. The experience taught us the importance of empathy and patience, especially with those we care about. Looking back, I realized that while Kelly's slow eating was frustrating, it was a small part of who she was. She was a kind, engaging person who valued conversation and connection over hurried meals. In the grand scheme of things, her pace was a reminder to slow down and appreciate the moments we shared. Ultimately, the incident brought us closer together, strengthening our friendships and teaching us valuable lessons about acceptance and understanding. We learned to navigate our differences with grace, making our gatherings more enjoyable for everyone involved. And so, as we continue to plan dinners and outings, we do so with a renewed sense of camaraderie, knowing that our bond as friends is stronger than any one person's quirks. We laugh, share stories, and enjoy each other's company, grateful for the connections that make life richer and more meaningful. In the end, it's not about how fast or slow we eat, but about the time we spend together, creating memories that will last a lifetime. Here's to many more dinners, filled with laughter, love, and the joy of being with those who matter most.